Here.
Brumman. Here. Brady.
Here. I'll make a motion to approve minutes from January 3rd, 2024. Do we have to approve minutes from the organizational meeting?
It was one, it
Okay.
was just yeah.
Excellent. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I would like to amend the agenda. Thank you. Can't be words today. After the second, after commissioner additional comments and concerns, I want to add a closed session for, union negotiations with the courts. These other two items I can just bring up a finance report, so that's it. Moving on to public comment, 3 minutes per person, identify yourself. Yes,
Patty Thomas, Harrisville Township. I've been listening to the radio and trying to follow up on what is going on with all of our emergency issues with the weather now. And when I was involved with Department of Health and Human Services, we kind of had an update regularly of what the health department was doing to meet people's needs. And I'm particularly, since we don't have 24/7 police coverage around here, do we have some way that people who need services, like their power is out and they're at the end of a dirt road that nobody can get down? I'm wondering, if we could have some kind of a report or some kind of maybe EMS or somebody talking about what we need to be doing to notify the public in emergencies. Our little radio station in town, I think they would broadcast any kind of information that you could give about how people can get services. What, the other issue is that we don't really have housing facilities for people who are without heat, and we've got a lot of old people out there, people who really are probably in need of help. And I know ACCOA is trying to do some stuff in terms of checking on your neighbors and that sort of thing, but I also was investigating the issue of a newspaper of record. And apparently our Alcona Review is the only newspaper, but they don't ever have anybody here to cover what you guys are talking about. So I'm feeling like we're in an opportunity now to get some ways of communicating with people ready and available for future emergencies, future times when the citizens who are paying their taxes and looking for some help to get information.
thank you. Anyone else, public comment? Is anybody online? Okay, moving on. No presentations today, no unfinished business today. Right to claims, efficiency.
I'd like to make a motion to approve pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between January 3rd, 2024 and January 16th, 2024. The check number is 152-884 to 153-038, and e-checks 2282 to 2289 for a grand total of $574,768.81.
I will second that. Moved and seconded. Any conversation, comments? Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Small.
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes.
Brady.
Yes.
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 Next up, let's go to Wordsmith Airport Authority request for letter of support.
I would move that we authorize the chair to sign the letter as offered. The letter is one that is in support of OWAA's request for funding for runways and buildings and to further improve what they have there. Within the grant, one of the comments that was made in the grant was, the community looks to the airport for leadership and guidance and growth as we grow, also on the community's growth. And they are looking for letters of support to support that comment. And I would, do you want me to read those two paragraphs? It, it's one more small plug in the approach to get a grant. It's required on 99% of the grants that do letters of support. That's all. That's what this is.
I'll make a motion. Did you make the motion?
Carolyn did.
Oh, I second. Who seconded it?
No one.
I'll second it. We got way ahead of ourselves, but, okay, great. Move to seconded. Any more comment, discussion? Letter support is just a yes, no, or is that a roll call?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Actually, with your agreement, I may rewrite the draft ever so slightly to put in there at a meeting of, you know, during the state.
Okay.
We go please do. I may do that. Just haven't finished that.
And allow the chair to sign?
Yeah,
Okay, because I did put it on your letterhead, but if you're gonna change
I
it,
sent it to you, but I'll send you the new one.
okay,
And we can just email it to Nicole.
okay.
You don't have to hard copy that.
okay. Next up, I'm gonna. Department of Health and Human Services Board Member Letter of Consideration received a letter from Mary Weber. I'll read it, what that, Dear Alcona County Board of Commissioners, I'm writing to request your consideration to grant me a seat on the board of Department of Health and Human Services as an active member of the community for nearly 20 years. I feel I'd be an exceptional candidate for this board as I have seen firsthand through writing for the Alcona County Review, the many hardships members of this community go through daily. I am also in close contact with the many children in this community through my writing about the Alcona Fair, Judy Livestock Market Club, 4-H FFA, and school activities. I believe strongly that it takes a village to raise a child, and no child should ever feel alone, unwanted, or ever go hungry. I understand there is a 3-year commitment from the seat, and I feel confident I will be able to fulfill that commitment, God willing. Thank you for your consideration. Very well.
My question in that is, when was the shut off time? I tried to find the ad. I didn't try super hard, but I only looked in about the last 3 papers. I couldn't find the ad. And, when would be, what was the cutoff date? And somebody else, did anybody on that committee, on that board, receive any? I don't know those.
Are we being asked to fill that position yet, right? Is that what you're asking? Did the DHHS come to us and that's what the recommended?
I think that's what the way it goes.
It is usually, but I haven't heard it. I don't remember any of our meetings.
What was the drop dead date in the newspaper? I couldn't, Mary Weber probably knows because she works in the paper.
I haven't ever seen the ad for it either. I don't know who to contact.
Now, is there if we had a request from DHHS for a person on it? Mary Weber's, interest?
I think
Tammy
that
was gonna request if no one came forward to have it, published in the paper, but there was a request, so she didn't, but no,
That's what.
Well, I do have to wait for other
I just don't know for sure.
applicants. I don't know
I
either.
mean, if the drop dead date was January 17th, then no, we have no reason to wait for him.
Is she already on the board?
No.
No.
who's on that, Health and Human Services, board? Or who's the liaison? The DHHS? Or do we have one?
What? Nobody knows?
It
I
used
don't
to
know if they have
be
one.
Candy
They
Ranger,
do.
I don't, and
Yeah, was
then
that
maybe
something
her
that-
position that they're filling now. I
I think she's still on the board. I think this was just a vacancy.
they generally have somebody,
It's a board of 3 people. Tammy is on it now as a member. I don't see she can retire.
How about I make a motion that we receive this letter of interest in Mary Weber and put it on file for when there's an opening. Good sport.
I'm just, the meetings will be on our calendar. They meet in the morning, but that doesn't do anybody any good, just come in.
I can go out and call Tammy.
Well, without if we haven't received an official request,
Services Council.
No, they're not on.
It's DHHS, that's the agency, and
it's not on this, this is just us.
I didn't know. We have.
I don't think they have anybody else.
Well. I'll second the motion to accept the letter. Firstly, we'll accept the letter, right? We'll make that motion. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Letter accepted. And this is
I'm
gonna be
okay.
fishy, but how about a motion that if the deadline. I don't know if it was advertised though, it's weird.
I thought it was supposed to be. Yes, I've just heard discussion that it was going to be. But as I said, and maybe, I think it's possible the ad was back in December. And as I said, I just looked in the last.
Oh, maybe. Well, how about this? If it's time sensitive, I'll make a motion.
You wanna finish that first motion?
I did. We did. It was just accept the letter.
That's,
Accept.
oh, Carrie,
Yeah, we carried. Sorry.
We have a special meeting next Friday.
Do it then.
And we can.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't want to.
Yep.
accept it, and I don't think it-
So
Then
it
we'll-
sounds like we got the next Friday, we have a special meeting and stuff.
I want to say their meeting is the fourth one, it's not, it's not the fourth week of the month, but just what we have. Sorry to say.
Well, then we'll table it until, our special meeting on next Friday.
Sounds good.
Moving on, finance report, couple things, first of all. There is something I have to sign for. The city, village and township revenue sharing and county revenue sharing, 1% coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund, CLFRF. For certification, this just means we get money. Let's see, we can apply for that 1% of coronavirus funding, so.
and a 2% for public safety.
2% of public safety. So I'll make a motion, to allow the chairman to sign the cost of revenue sharing.
Support.
Move to support it. Any discussion? Okay, is this a roll call? Sure, roll call.
Small,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Johnson,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Brady.
Yes. Next I have, require, to move some funds into, the software line item for IT in order to, there's gonna be an increase to our email subscription. It goes into,
oh, that's right.
yeah, it comes out of, 101,890,999.
Next page.
5,028, and it goes into. You just said this, I should know how you do it. Would go
What
into
was that line item again, losing,
agency transfer, I said the wrong number probably.
The contingency transfer for the general fund.
890,999. And it's going into, oh, here we go, going into 101,259,819,001.
Yep.
$5,028.
so weird.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any more discussion? I'll tell you what it's all about. Microsoft is raising, the money that we have to pay to do our email system, and it's more costly to change anything else at this point, so we're gonna stay it for a matter of security. Any other comments? Then roll call, please.
Yax,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Brady,
Yes,
Small.
Yes.
finance,
I'll do better about that when you're done.
what do you, no, that's that.
Got it.
You can have that for now, but
Nope.
I'll be running blind up here, even more than usual. What else is playing to you today, Dave? Talk about some things. Nothing we can bring up here though.
No. Yeah, it was probably when
That's it for finance. We move on to the treasure, personnel report.
You? Okay. All right, we don't have a whole lot. We did meet with the courts, sent them the finance for the financial obligations of what the union contracts is. I know you've met with them, we'll deal with that in closed session. Second item is personnel policy update. We brought this up a year ago, hoping to be able to address our personnel policy, job descriptions, all the other issues. We did finally track down Emily, who was our consultant that we had, who did our current personnel policy. Unfortunately, she's retired. We've done a lot to try to get her, and she just could not bring herself to come out of retirement. She did give us some resources to look and find someone who could help us with that and take a look at our personnel policy. Yeah. So what we would like, Terry and I have talked about this is, I guess a green light from the board. I mean, she was gonna be our person, she's not gonna be. So if we could get some sort of approval to go out and start looking for some people and bring back a list of and costs and say this is the person that we wanna engage with and do this. So that would be nice. And we could do it without it, but I'd like to have a board. Yeah, we could get
I
it.
would move that I don't want to say instruct, but that we encourage the personnel committee to
So you
proceed
direct us to,
in review and possible modifications of the personnel policy.
I would like to be able to, just add on to, like to be able to get some names and bring us some quotes on what it would cost to do
Well, I just gave you the whole stuff.
Okay. That's.
In my eyes, that's good.
And I'll second that.
Okay.
And I do have a name, but I'll give you the second first.
For the second, any further discussion?
I'm sorry, who's the second?
Hearing none, all those in favor,
I,
all those opposed, motion carries.
Okay, the last item, and we're not asking for any action on it today, but just giving information, Terry and I talked, so. Equalization is running as it should, things are happening as they should be running. There was a request of a certain compensation, increasing compensation due to the person. So we have a current person there now who is acting in a management type role. We have somewhat of a precedent with building department. We did that with that office where there was a union employee who was overseeing the office, and we gave some extra compensation for that. We haven't set any numbers, haven't done anything, but I wanted this board to know that that's probably something that we're gonna look at and be ready for in the next 2 weeks, that there could be a proposal to compensate the lead, I guess it'd be, Warren, for managing the office. Just to give a little background, so Terry and I are handling certainly any employee situations, discipline or anything like that, but the day-to-day operations of running the office, training of the new employee, that all is on Lauren right now. Has been, this kind of came up a while back. We didn't bring it here because we wanted to wait and see what happened, but we've been a month and a half, 2 months now of how it's running. And seems to be running locally and right. I'm not gonna be here every day to be a director in the office, and I don't think Terry wants to be there, so. Although you're here every day, maybe you wanna be the
keep going.
So just a heads up, if you got any input, I'm sure somebody does, or some people do, let me know. We're gonna look at it and we'll have something for the board, at the next meeting as a proposal.
Before I would want to go any direction on it, I'd like to see the difference in pay that happened across the street.
Yeah, we did model it. I mean, when she presented it to me, I looked at it and what that was, the difference, and it would be the same. There wasn't anything different, so. of the same amount. I guess.
I don't recall going up in the increase over there,
Yeah,
other than the standard ones.
so, anybody's got a question, talk to me or Terry or Will, any other background, but I didn't want to just spring it on everybody on a meeting and say, oh, by the way, vote on this. So, yeah. Let's see, anything else? I didn't think, anything else?
That covered it.
Another question, no, I don't have anything else.
Okay, moving on to the treasurer's report.
We are working with the new budget. We have quite a few approvals for coming back in for revenue and expenditures over the last 2 weeks. So we are trying to get those all input into last year's budget. And it's been a challenge, going through each receipt and each department. But we are working on it diligently and trying to get those numbers so we can have, by the end of the month, hopefully, pretty good idea of where we are and what we're gonna need. Working on the balance sheets to have the accounts payable and the accounts receivable coincide with what's in the general ledger. That's been our main focus. We also have had 2 publications. This will be the second week of publication for our potential tax foreclosure properties. Just keep in mind those properties that are in the paper do have until March 31st before those properties would be foreclosed. And that's pretty much what we have. And get your dog licenses before March 1st, because after that, the rates double. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Tax wise, are we same level that as far as the people not paying their taxes?
The collection rates or
Is it the same as last year? Let's see, what?
our basic, the ones that are being collected now or the delinquent?
Actually, both. Can we get both? Can I ask both? Are
Um,
they up, down, same?
they're pretty stable. We generally have, that's not anything uncommon. What we have now, it's not really up or down that much.
They're not going up, they're not going down.
Not significantly enough to make a statement on.
Thank you.
Do we need to vote on MIDC budget stuff? I know I forgot about that in the finance report, right? We do. We need to move something there. MIDC budget came in, but the numbers didn't match the grant.
I've been trying to work on that,
I think, and I forgot to talk to you about this, and I apologize, Karen, but, I think what we found in finance was that all we have to do is make the numbers for the grant language didn't match what was put on there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and that's one, I'm trying to dovetail what he sent us to what is extremely difficult to Gerald knows, I mean, you've got numbers with black lines over them, and for me, anyway, it was tough to, what is that number, is it a 6 or is it an 8 or whatever? But I'm working on trying to get that balance out. So that it adds up. appropriately.
Okay, so you want some more time to get that out?
We've got that figured out, Carolyn, because the lines that were blacked out were not the appropriate amount of the grant, the actual grant. The grant itself was different than what he had input in his numbers. So once we added that, then it balanced out.
It did, that I did not know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and he's got a copy of the tentative information.
Then we should go ahead, I would think we could go ahead and act on it then. No?
I don't know why we wouldn't.
Okay. Then I would so move that we approve the 2024 Fund 260 budget as presented.
I'll support. Yep, Dave support. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call?
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. That's
Thanks, Sheila.
And I also was under the thought process that even if I had finished it last night, to have sent it to Bill right now. Like, it's overloaded, and I have to, the human being, I have to respect that.
Sure.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Up next, clerk's report.
The jury trial that's been going on forever, it seems like. The defense rested and, he's doing his closing arguments as we speak. So they will, I don't know if they'll begin to deliberate later on afternoon or if they'll come back in the morning to start deliberations, but, working very closely with the local township clerks in regard to the 9 days of early voting. I have started to receive some of the backup election equipment. I just finished today speaking to the last township for the schedule. So, 9 days, 12 townships. So 3 of them are working together, to fulfill a complete election worker group. So that was good, but it's just a lot of work. So lots of election work going on right now. I just also printed off House bill tracking. There's, in regard to elections, there's, I would say, close to 40 House bills affecting the elections because they're forever changing. And, you gotta keep up on that and try to find time to read it, make sure you don't miss anything. And as always, it's how you perceive what you read too. Ordered early voting supplies. Most of the precincts for years and years, they accumulate all their stuff while holding it here. I don't have that equipment. I'm gonna borrow some from the city and give it back to them before their election day. And, the state will reimburse for my orders. Pretty much, I think everything I've ordered will be reimbursable so far. The transition to the new health insurance, I think the last of the cards just came yesterday. That was a little bit of a cluster. Big time. And there's 2 notifications I have to have sent into the review by this Friday because they're for publication purposes. So, those have to be completed in by this Friday to be in next Wednesday's paper. And all special pays are completed, I believe. Those are done. We'll go back to regular pays, get this jury trial over with. And get like a regular staff in the clerk's office again would be great. And I think that's all I have. I gave you your miscommunication, can't think of anything else.
Okay, thank you.
What, you probably answered this, is it 9 days at the primary for February or not?
It will be
Not till then.
February, August, any state and federal. So, it's looking like probably a special election in May. But,
So the primary coming up, it's gotta be 9 days.
9 days. Plus, then they'll have a day of rest on Monday, and then your regular election day is Tuesday, February 27th. So early voting will start here on February 17th.
You got all it, cause I was at Harrisville Township and I didn't know.
No. In fact, I'm trying to track down their ballot box and I'm not getting, anything back from the Bureau of Elections. It's supposed to be in place as of 1/1 of this year and it's MIA, I don't know where it's at. But Harrisville, because she's a new clerk, like a lot of her workers quit. They don't want to do the elections anymore at all. So I have her working with Caledonia Township here, so she'll be working with, Cindy's helped her out tremendously. So this will be actually only her second election, but she's doing good. She's doing really good. And then, the city, I think, is working with Guston and Curtis is gonna work with Mitchell.
So working together, meaning they're gonna utilize the same people. Is that the working together?
Right,
Yeah.
because if some are short, either workers or Republicans or Democrats kind of combo together to make a full. And this will be very, very different.
So they have to
Very different.
Aren't we working here too?
They're coming
It's-
here.
They're going to.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Trina and myself are just the administrators that are kind of putting these schedules together. We'll set up and open all the stuff with them. Have everything here ready to go, but they will work their own election day. The
So they-
clerks will.
Do each board must have to appoint non-township members to be able to touch township ballots, right? They're not. I mean, so you could have Caledonia people counting Harrisville ballots or
Well,
not,
tabulator will count them.
right?
They recommended only 6 townships per tabulator. And I'm like, wait a minute, we are really small.
Yeah.
I think if we get off count, it's gonna be very easy to figure out where we're off count at, you know? But yeah, all those ballot styles, it's not such a big deal for this presidential primary, but come August.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ballot styles, so.
Well,
I mean, when you scan that driver's license in the electronic poll book, it comes up and tells you what ballot style that individual is. So far, what I have right now is like a file folder organizer that will hold each township's ballots. Because, the presidential primary is closed, therefore you have to declare which party you are voting for. People go, oh, no, I didn't do that in the last election. We did. I pulled 2020 ballots. It's the same exact thing. Other than Mitchell, we'll have 3 ballot styles because someone can say they don't want to vote for the president at all. They just want the ballot that has the proposal on it, which will be core. So Mitchell will have, that's the only township.
We're fine. We live with it. We live with it.
And that's your election information for today.
Changing tomorrow.
Changing your, they're reading House bills, and 8 pages of them. I think it's draft version 5, so these are the ones that have passed.
The state needs to hire Dollar General to be polling stations. And they can run the whole thing from every Dollar General.
and the electronic thing. where
It's an enclosure.
Yeah.
Dollar General is every community in this whole state. There you go, state of Michigan, that's my recommendation. Subcontract Dollar General, be a polling station, put your employees there, good to go. Moving on. Communications are in your packet, browse at your leisure. Committee reports.
Veterans, so the building is roughed in, windows are in, electrical's in, installation hasn't happened yet. It's going well. Did they get the thing for the well to you? The head, isn't got the head. Okay. So they're putting out bids for a well. They have some interest already, but we said, no, put it up with it, so they has an opportunity. So the well going in, everything else is looking along fine, they're very happy with the progress right now, so that's good. That is on my head. Oh, yeah, and the other ones. Although I'll take the moment to say, Mary Weber just walked in, so she could give us some insight at some point here on, well, we got your letter. And that's it, anything else?
Dave?
I just have, Alcona Township is working on their rec plan and are planning on, redoing the mouth of the Black River. Actually, Dan Gothier, I think, is heading that up. So, that's all I have.
Sure.
Working on this, waste management plan, is helping out and doing very much in talking to Justin Tucker. And we're talking, Davis been talking to Alpena County. And possibly getting together on this thing. It's a planning board, so.
Well, I think we need to meet and then come back and decide as a board what we're gonna
Right.
do, but I'm sure we're probably wanna go. Sounds like Montmorency and Iasco are already gonna work with Alpena. And obviously, it's the obvious choice since they're building a brand new facility that can handle.
You need a.
Iasco County or Iasco?
Iasco, and Morenci.
Yeah. I asked them.
I was talking with Alpena County and that's who's already went to them
Oh,
and are expressing interest to work together.
Virtual meeting with the- Was, the ahead of time, you can do it, started to. As far as
What is it?
money-
It's a virtual conference for this Michigan Materials Management Conference.
Yeah.
February 13th and 14th.
Oh, you guys gotta pay to attend?
Yes.
Well,
I think they should submit, if they do it.
Just put it,
Bill should be
you
submitted.
send the bill?
yeah, just put it in a card in your mileage report or whatever. Right? Can we do that? Or do we just have the clerk?
Oh,
The clerk have to,
I'm looking at it right now.
She's giving you a look here.
should be paid out of some in the commissioner's line item somewhere, probably. Dues and
When is
stuff,
it?
whatever.
February 13th or 14th?
Both days.
Both.
Well, when you get in to register, you let me know if we need the credit card, you know. Who's attending?
Terry and I.
Both of you, do you want me to look into registering both of you?
Oh, if you want to, yeah.
Sure. If we can't attend, I believe we can, it'll be a Zoom thing too. You can.
Yeah, it'll be available.
Trina's had to pay, we've had to pay for some Zoom
Yeah.
conferences. I think that master FMLA one was,
And we should probably be here because you can chat with other ones during the whole.
The answer is yes, get them signed up.
Thank you.
Anything else there?
Just attended the CMH meeting and nothing to report from there.
Right, Carol?
I provided all of you with, a Cedar Lake Improvement Board packet, for lack of a better word. It's our meeting was last Friday. It is the agenda. And the reason I included that, it's pretty, when Rex does the agendas, he's pretty inclusive of the things that he puts on. It's a lot of information in with it. I gave you the copy of our minutes, from the prior meeting, and on the back was the budget as proposed for this year. Revenue is $113,000, and you can see how it is broken out. At this point, we do not anticipate drawing any money out of our fund balance, but that was one of the things. There is a public here, unless they cancel it, there is a public hearing scheduled in Oscoda Township addressing the termination of the existence of CLIB, the demise of CLIB. We talked about it here. To the best of my knowledge, we declined having such a public hearing. Greenbush Township is denied to have such a public hearing, and Iosco County has denied having such a public hearing, as has the CLIB board itself. In order to move forward, all 5 entities have to have the public hearing to start with. And that's the beginning statements, and then they to pass that. I do not see it coming. I don't see it happening, and I think at that meeting, it will be interesting, and I'm debating whether I'm gonna go or not. And I think it'll be interesting because a large majority will be opposed to the termination or the demise of CLIB. So, 211, I will be sending you a review on what they've done in 23. We've approved the budget, they used to move forward, with stuff, nothing super unusual. So, ACCOA, will be approving their full budget, which I have here. I offered a copy to you all, and the consensus was we would have the clerk put this on file. It would be available if somebody wanted to come in and see it. I'll give this copy. I took the liberty of inviting them to our meeting on January 30th. It's a public meeting anyway. And they are thinking about a millage. And I thought, certainly wouldn't hurt if they want to attend. come hear our conversations and with the people that we're gonna be talking to.
It's the 26th,
26th,
Friday.
What?
I'm sorry, yeah, it is.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that meeting.
Another one I have heard. Yeah, okay. I will make sure that they know that that is on the 26th. Meeting's on, did you know that? Oh, no, he's right there. Meeting's on 26th, up there. Dr. Church knows everybody. That didn't sound quite right, but anyway, and but that there were finance meeting on this past Monday. There are a couple of little tweaks to this, but it's really ready to go as it is. EFSP, we were expecting phase 41 to service and emergency food and shelter committee. But now they're postponing that until the end of this year. They then took phase 39 and phase 40 and extended them through 24. They were supposed to have expired in December of 23. They moved that expiration date to December of 24. Minor detail, all the money that was there had been spent long ago. But I think, in my own perhaps foolish approach, all they're doing is dragging their feet so they don't have to give us the next batch of money. And this is money that at one time was in excess of $40,000, and now it's down to 4 figures. I think our last one was $6,000, so we're not talking about a huge amount of money. And that's doled out to local groups, for food and shelter. And Methodist Church is one of the key ones. A couple of years ago, the seniors got some of it, but anyway, it's not a lot of money, and as I said, it's spent pretty quickly. So 911 is they're being their new CAD, their AVL CAD system is functioning well. They're out for bids for a new phone system, and they're investigating some other options or some options on a CAD mapping system. So, other than that, I just keep playing around.
So mostly playing around then. Thanks. So we'll do our last section of public comment.
Can I come on to me? I forgot one, Parks and Rec Committee. So I'd like to come back around to trying to do what we've been trying to do for many, many years. But in order to do that, I need some help on it. So, the Parks and Rec Committee, I think if I remember right, 13 people could be on that. Is that what it was, or was it 9? It was 9.
13 sounds like a lot.
Yeah, we're short some numbers, so I would like to ask the board if we could advertise for 2 weeks and see if advertising out for Parks and Rec board members. We need to get our Parks and Rec plan that we haven't gotten done in a while, and maybe some new members would be nice. I did have a couple people who expressed an interest. They may put their name in if they see it, and I'll definitely get a hold of them if they put it in the paper that we're looking. So I would make a motion that we put in the paper for 2 weeks, call for people who wanna be on the Parks and Rec board.
If that was a motion, I will support it.
It was.
But I think we need to also look at and determine and establish. Parks and Rec swung into a snowmobile entity, and and I think it's, in my perspective, and I don't know what the legalities of it
And that's
are.
the problem. There are some legalities in how they operate
Right,
and get their money, that they have to be tied to us. So we looked at a couple several years ago about making them a subcommittee,
and I don't think that's legal.
and that's, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to be board members. That's all gotta get flushed out.
Yeah,
it's-
and that needs to be flushed out before we start appointing people, because they need to know what they're being appointed to and what their obligation is.
Well, so that it's still Parks and Rec. And all encompassing, they're operating right now as a snowmobile group, basically. But we want, what I'm hoping is we get a Parks and Rec board, is actually looking at Parks and Rec countywide. That with the snowmobile doing it, they can be there too.
Absolutely.
So I think part of it is the reason I wanna get more members there, is there some different thinking that, you know, so the meetings will be more about Parks and Rec in the whole, instead of only, and them guys, that they do what they do, that's what they do. If we get some more members on there, and I've had this discussion with other guys, and they're,
As have I.
yeah, and they're okay, we'll see what happens, I mean, they may all resign and say they don't.
But my point is, if whatever you get with this newspaper ad is all snowmobile, we defeated. We have.
Well, them guys would be loving if it was, cause they
Well,
want more
yes, they
help.
were, but the concept of it being county.
No,
Parks and Rec.
so I'll help with the wording and say this is Parks and Rec Committee, and we'll put a little blurb in there about what it is. This is, you know, this is what it
When
is.
people come and get on a committee with a very specific agenda, that's not always the best.
The
course.
people that have expressed an interest to me are, haven't, well, they're not interested in the snowmobiles at all. They're interested in one of other avenues, so. And hopefully they're interested in working on a Parks and Rec plan. That'd be really great.
Because in order to do anything else, you have to get that done.
Yeah, we gotta have that done. So that's my motion that we.
Well, seconded by Carolyn. Any
And we
more
have-
discussion? Just money, roll call, I guess.
Brady,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes,
If I did something and you can edit it for me.
All right, and then last section of public comment here. Anybody?
What are the questions I should have for the answer?
she made people answer. questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
what did you apply for?
We did apply for, I applied for a seat on the DHS board.
Was it in the paper? Was there a,
Don't know, I don't think it was in the paper. This was something that they've been looking for a while. Apparently, there's been a vacant seat for a while.
there's a vacancy and it's on the website.
And I thought it was your suggestion that DHS does it too.
Well, I'm fine with that. My only concern that I expressed here, I don't know when you, so maybe you heard it.
Oh, I was late. I had other things.
Was there an ad in the paper with a drop dead date of, let's say, this Friday? If that was true, then we really should. Wait, if there was nothing in the newspaper,
I still have to talk to Tammy Ranger. I have no knowledge of
I just,
how she went.
we're meeting on the.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, we tabled it to the 26th. We received we had the motion to receive your letter. I'm sorry, it's not my place.
Go ahead.
You're doing good.
Let's start it out.
I apologize too for being late. I had a doctor's
It's an
appointment.
open meeting. Anyway, we didn't want to get ahead of ourselves. And so we tabled it until that meeting on Friday. And then we'll have that information hopefully by then. I'm sure our chairman will get that for us.
Okay.
And we'll have that information and so we can then get back to that. We had something.
I do not believe that it was, in speaking with Tammy.
Oh, I
But
should have said our vice.
I don't
chairman
want
did
the
that.
board to have gone through and I missed it, so.
Late, Aaron. Sorry, right.
I'm ready to ask Dave. Okay, now public comment, any more here? Yes.
Patty Chalice, Harrisville Township. There was a fair amount of discussion about the election, the primary coming up in February. I don't know what the circumstances of the poll workers all resigning might have been, but it did remind me that I came to this commission meeting during the last election and said, hey, how come people can come into the polling places with their guns, but they can't come into the buildings, they can't go into the schools. I haven't been to all the meetings, so maybe you guys actually, passed a motion and made it, illegal to bring your guns into the polling places, but I think if you're gonna be recruiting people, you need to give, them some confidence that, that they will not be facing somebody sitting in the peanut gallery there with their, and, well, any kind of, munitions. I don't know if you discussed this, but I would certainly like you to take the issue up and decide whether or not people coming to vote and the poll workers who have volunteered to put themselves on the line all day long. I think that it would be certainly a responsibility of the county commission to see that people can safely vote and feel confidence in the situation that they're sitting in all day long.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dr. Bob Turk, Harrisville Township. On that note, I think there very well might be some people who feel more confident that guns are allowed in the polling place, just like there are people who would be more confident knowing that there are guns allowed in county courthouse or the ACCOA or any other public building. So I would like you to consider that also for every person who might be more comfortable that there isn't guns allowed. There might be two people who are more comfortable that guns are allowed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, hearing that, we're gonna, any commissioner comments?
Well, so I don't, what's gonna happen here? Is this county building is not well done, we have policy. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, our county building has to know the policy. And they'll be voting here, so there won't be any guns allowed in the polling place as far as I know. But we may get this in our.
I have to sign every time I come into the building. I have to document that I do not have any weapons with me.
So be curious how that's all gonna come down.
Wasn't there a decision made here a couple of years ago that they were permitted in a polling place?
Well, they are, but we have policy that says they're not allowed.
As far as
Right.
the county building, but now when they go to the polls on Tuesday, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that'd be the township level. That's at your own
Right,
township.
right.
They'd have to do something there.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I thought there was something on state law that they said. But I can't remember exactly what it was, that they were allowed something.
Well, the governor tried to, but that's overriding the law, and she can't do that, so.
That'd be interesting. We have to find that out.
Local officials can pass a rule.
Okay, with that, any other commissioner comments? Then I request that we need a recess for closed session. Can we just go on closed session?
As soon as we get Jen here.
You need a motion to go into closed session.
We'll take a 5-minute recess and then come back, we'll go into closed session. Maybe get a hold of Jen and get her down here. Okay. I think that's good to go.
I didn't. I was looking to see. Oh, so it's back. I didn't see it.
That's okay, we got That's right.
I didn't.
I didn't see anything on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so, thank you.
Normally we do, we open that up for. And.
It's kind of been an extended period of time if somebody was down a good road.
Did Carolyn say how long to keep that budget file in my office for review?
So I don't know, I didn't hear how long.
Because that's.
Interaction.
And then we know how long.
Yeah, normally here.
So Scott, there's the emergency services and September 30th, so. I know he's done that in the past. I'm kind of surprised by it.
Yeah, that would make sense. How long they want some interaction.
Well, every time.
Speaking of Parks and Rec.
The next one.
Oh, yes. You're willing to enable us, not necessarily, although extended period of time. if the plan was put in place. but, you know, overnight. This time of year next week.
Are you giving me, are you giving me a scowl?
A lot of evidence.
Any,
And then adjourn.
Adjourn
Eddie is not gonna.
by the chair.
So, that's why I stick on.